You're probably tired of your phone constantly bombarding you with notifications, feeling like you're glued to a screen just to talk to AI. And here's the thing. I've been following Sam Altman and Jony Ive's secretive hardware project for months now, digging through every public statement, every leak, every supplier report. What I found is honestly mind-blowing. They're building something that could completely change how we interact with AI. And no, it's not another smartphone. Welcome back to bitbiased.ai, where we do the research so you don't have to. Join our community of AI enthusiasts. Click the newsletter link in the description for weekly analysis delivered straight to your inbox. So in this video, I'm going to break down everything we know about OpenAI's mysterious AI device, from its screenless design to why it could actually replace your phone for certain tasks. You'll understand exactly what Altman and Ive are building, when you can expect to see it, and why this might be the most important AI hardware launch in the next 2 years. First up, let's talk about who's actually behind this project, because this partnership is kind of a big deal. The power duo behind this device. When you combine the CEO of OpenAI with Apple's legendary design genius, you know something interesting is happening. Sam Altman has been leading OpenAI since 2019, the company that gave us ChatGPT and basically kickstarted the entire AI boom we're living through right now. Before that, he ran Y Combinator, one of Silicon Valley's most prestigious startup accelerators. The guy knows how to spot and build transformative technology. Then there's Jony Ive, and honestly, if you've ever used an iPhone, iPod, iMac, or Apple Watch, you've held his work in your hands. For 3 decades at Apple, Ive shaped the design language of some of the most iconic products ever made. He left Apple in 2019 to start his own design firm called Love From, and here's where it gets interesting. He wasn't just enjoying retirement. In May 2025, OpenAI made a massive move. They acquired Ive's startup, IO Products, for roughly $6.5 billion. Yes, with a B. This wasn't just buying a company, it was bringing Jony Ive's entire design team, including about 50 former Apple engineers and designers, directly into OpenAI. Think about that for a second. The same team that designed the iPhone is now working inside OpenAI, reimagining what computing looks like when AI can see, think, and understand the world around us. What makes this partnership so powerful is the complementary strengths. Altman brings OpenAI's cutting-edge AI research and the most advanced language models on the planet. Ive brings decades of industrial design expertise and an obsession with simplicity that's almost legendary in tech circles. Together, they're asking a fundamental question. Now that AI can truly understand us, what should the interface look like? What this device actually is, and why it's so different. All right, here's where it gets really interesting. Forget everything you know about smartphones, tablets, or laptops, because this device breaks all the rules. Based on multiple public interviews and industry reports, what Altman and Ive are building is completely screenless. Let that sink in for a moment. No display at all. The device is roughly pocket-sized, comparable to an iPhone in dimensions, though some rumors suggest it could be even smaller, closer to the old iPod Shuffle. But here's the kicker. Instead of a screen, this thing is packed with cameras and microphones that give it what's called ambient intelligence. It's constantly aware of your environment, your location, your routines, and your surroundings. Think of it as an AI assistant that actually understands context. Now you might be wondering, if there's no screen, how do I get information from it? Great question. The device communicates through audio, either via built-in speakers or Bluetooth connection, and there's even speculation it might be able to project images onto nearby surfaces. Imagine it projecting information onto your hand or your desk when you need to see something. Wild, right? But wait until you hear what's powering all of this. Under the hood, this device is deeply integrated with OpenAI's most advanced AI models. We're talking ChatGPT-level intelligence and beyond, but designed to work proactively on your behalf. According to reports, it's built to know everything you've ever thought about, read, or said, and act on it. That sounds intense, but the vision is actually the opposite of overwhelming. Here's the philosophy. Instead of your phone constantly pinging you with alerts and notifications, demanding your attention every few minutes, this device quietly handles tasks in the background. It filters out the noise and only interrupts you when something truly matters. Forbes India describes it as having spatial awareness and contextual awareness of your patterns. It learns when to speak up and when to stay silent. The intended use case is fascinating. Altman and Ive describe it as a calm companion, and I love that phrase. You might simply speak a command into the air, and the device books appointments, answers questions, or summarizes information without you ever looking at a screen. PC Gamer put it perfectly. If you trust your AI to do things for you, you only need to briefly ask it to do something. You won't need to see it in action. Think about how radical that is. Most of our tech today is designed to capture our attention. This device is designed to stay out of your way while making your life easier. It's a complete inversion of the current smartphone paradigm. The timeline. How fast this is moving. What's remarkable about this project is how quickly it's progressed from concept to reality. Let me walk you through the key milestones, because this thing is moving fast. Back in 2023, around 2 years ago now, Sam Altman and Jony Ive started having conversations. According to OpenAI's announcement, they were exploring tentative ideas and explorations about new forms of computing. This was right when ChatGPT was exploding in popularity, and they saw an opportunity to rethink how we interact with AI. By mid-2024, Ive wasn't just talking anymore. He co-founded IO Products with design partners Scott Cannon, Evans Hankey, and Tang Tan. These are all heavy hitters from the Apple design world. They assembled a team of hardware and software engineers, many of them former Apple staff, and started building actual prototypes. This wasn't a research project. This was a real company building real products. Then came May 2025, and that's when OpenAI dropped the bombshell. They announced the acquisition of IO Products for approximately $6.4 to $6.5 billion. The entire IO team merged into OpenAI, though Lovefrom, Ive's creative agency, remained independent as a design partner. Sam Altman publicly stated this gave OpenAI access to the best hardware and software engineers, best technologists, experts in product development and manufacturing. That's not hyperbole. He literally brought Apple's A-team into OpenAI. Now here's what gets me excited. By late 2025, in a public interview, Altman and Ive unveiled that they have working prototypes. Not concept sketches, not 3D renders. Actual functioning devices that you can hold and use. Altman called them jaw-droppingly good. He even mentioned they've iterated until the device feels playful enough. And here's a funny detail. It passed Ive's famous lick it or take a bite test. That's an actual test Ive uses. When a product design is so refined and appealing, it should make you want to lick it or bite it. I'm not making this up. So when can you actually buy one? All sources point to roughly 2 years or less from now. Jony Ive himself said consumers could see the device in less than 2 years from late 2025. The Verge and McRumors both reported the same timeline. If we're being conservative, we're looking at a 2027 launch, possibly even late 2026. That might sound far away, but in hardware development terms, especially for something this ambitious, that's incredibly fast. To recap the timeline, they went from initial conversations in 2023 to founding a company in 2024, to a multi-billion-dollar acquisition in mid-2025, to working prototypes by late 2025, with an expected launch in 2026 or 2027. That's lightning speed in the hardware world. The players. Who's making this happen? This isn't a side project in someone's garage. The scale of companies and teams involved here is massive, and understanding who's building this gives you insight into just how serious this is. At the center of everything is OpenAI. As the parent organization, they're leading the entire effort. Their research and engineering teams are integrating their most advanced AI models with this new hardware. Sam Altman is the executive sponsor, and OpenAI has publicly acknowledged the project in their blog posts and interviews. This is an official OpenAI initiative with full company backing. Then you have Jony Ive's design empire. Love from his independent design firm provides creative leadership and oversight. But remember, Ive's startup IO Products brought together the actual team of builders, hardware engineers, software developers, designers. When OpenAI acquired IO Products, they got access to more than 50 former Apple engineers and managers. These are the people who actually built the iPhone, iPad, and Apple Watch. Now they're sitting inside OpenAI's hardware division under Ive's design direction. But here's where it gets even more interesting, the manufacturing side. Building beautiful prototypes is one thing. Manufacturing millions of units is an entirely different challenge. OpenAI clearly learned from Apple's playbook here. According to Reuters, they've signed deals with Luxshare, which is one of the major assemblers of Apple devices. Luxshare builds iPhones, AirPods, and other Apple products at massive scale. They know how to do precision manufacturing for consumer electronics. OpenAI has also tapped Goertek, a supplier that makes components for AirPods and HomePods, specifically for parts like speakers. These partnerships are crucial. They give OpenAI access to the same world-class supply chain that Apple uses. It's like they're leveraging Apple's entire manufacturing ecosystem without actually being Apple. There's one more interesting connection worth mentioning. The Emerson Collective, owned by Laurene Powell Jobs, Steve Jobs' widow, hosted the demo event where much of this information was discussed. Now, they're not developers or manufacturers, but it shows the Silicon Valley connections and prestige surrounding this project. What's notably absent? Any connection to Altman's other ventures. There's no public link between this device and WorldCoin or any of his other projects. This appears to be purely an OpenAI initiative, which means it has the full weight of one of the world's most valuable AI companies behind it. In summary, you've got OpenAI's AI expertise, Apple's former design dream team, and Apple's actual manufacturing partners all working together to build this thing. That's a combination that rarely exists in the tech world. Why? This device needs to exist right now. You might be thinking, we already have phones with AI assistants. Why do we need another gadget? That's fair, but Altman and Ive have a compelling answer rooted in real problems that I bet you've experienced yourself. Think about your relationship with your smartphone right now. Be honest. How many times today has it interrupted you with a notification you didn't need? How many apps are constantly fighting for your attention with badges, alerts, sounds, and vibrations? Altman describes using modern devices as being like walking through Times Square, dealing with all the little indignities along the way. That constant sensory assault isn't making our lives peaceful and calm. It's the opposite. This new device is being positioned as a direct remedy to smartphone overload. It's a calm companion that only interrupts you when absolutely necessary. No endless scrolling, no notification bombardment, no distraction warfare. Just an AI assistant that quietly does work in the background and respects your attention. But there's a bigger reason this device makes sense now, and it has everything to do with timing. We're at this unique moment in tech history where the AI brains have finally caught up to our imagination. Large language models like ChatGPT can understand context, have conversations, and perform complex tasks. The capability exists. What's missing is the right physical interface to make that capability feel natural and intuitive. Right now, most people interact with AI by typing into a chat box on their phone or computer. That works, but it's not elegant. It's not ambient. It still requires you to stop what you're doing, pull out a device, navigate to an app, and type. Axios makes a great point. An elegantly simple gadget could be the way that everyday people begin to interface fluently with AI. In other words, we have incredible AI technology, and this device aims to be the intuitive body that makes it accessible to everyone. There's also a gap in current offerings that's worth noting. Major tech companies have tried to create new AI interfaces, Amazon's Alexa devices, Google Nest, smartwatches, even AR glasses, but none have truly redefined how we interact with AI on a daily basis. Even well-funded startups like the Humane AI Pin have struggled and largely flopped. OpenAI's project is betting that a unique design-driven approach, led by the person who designed the iPhone, can succeed where others have failed. Reuters explicitly notes that a device like this could eat into the markets of Apple and other consumer electronics makers by challenging smartphone dominance. That's not just wishful thinking. It's a real possibility if they get the execution right. The timing also matters from an AI development perspective. Altman has talked about how we need to shape how AI enters daily life before it grows out of control or becomes something we can't manage. Starting this project when GPT-style AI became widespread means they can launch the product as these models mature even further. So the market need is clear. People want a simpler, smarter interface to AI that reduces clutter and respects their time. And the technology has finally reached a point where building such a device is actually possible. That's why this is happening now. The design philosophy: simplicity meets joy. If you want to understand what makes this device different, you need to understand the design philosophy driving every decision. And honestly, it's refreshing in a world where tech gadgets often feel like they're competing to add more features rather than remove them. Jony Ive has repeatedly emphasized what he calls naive simplicity. He loves designs that teeter on appearing almost naive in their simplicity. The goal isn't to impress people with complexity or to show off how many features you can cram into a small space. The goal is to create something that looks and feels like a simple tool, almost obvious in hindsight. When someone sees it, they should think, of course, that's what it should be. Altman is completely aligned on this vision. He wants people to look at the device and respond with, "That's it," because of its simplicity. But here's what's interesting. This isn't sterile minimalism. There's a strong emphasis on whimsy and delight woven throughout the design. Ive has said explicitly that the device should make people smile and feel joy. It shouldn't try to impress through complexity, it should charm through playfulness. Altman admitted he was initially skeptical about adding whimsy to a serious AI product, but now he says he's so happy to have some whimsy back in technology. In practice, this means curved, friendly shapes and interactions that feel playful rather than robotic. Remember that lick or bite test I mentioned earlier? That's not just a joke. It's a genuine philosophy. When a design is refined enough, it should be so appealing that you have an almost instinctive positive reaction to it. Your brain should register it as something attractive and desirable at a visceral level. Now let's talk about what they removed, because that's just as important as what they included. The team has been ruthless about stripping away anything unnecessary. Altman noted that the degree to which Jony has chipped away at every little thing that this doesn't need to do is remarkable. This is why there's no screen. Screens are distracting. This is why there's no visible camera array or button complex. Fewer elements mean fewer distractions and a calmer experience. The hardware and software are being co-designed in lockstep, which is rare even in big tech companies. OpenAI's models run in the cloud while the hardware provides seamless input and output. The device is specifically intended to work closely with ChatGPT's artificial intelligence models, according to Reuters. Forbes India describes it as an AI companion built around ambient intelligence. Here's where the design gets really clever. The device's contextual awareness, those cameras and microphones combined with AI, allows it to filter information intelligently. It only speaks or notifies you when the AI determines something is actually important. This isn't just a technical feature. It's a design decision that fundamentally changes the user experience. PC Gamer explored this concept of trust in their article, and I think they nailed it. The entire vibe depends on trusting your AI to handle tasks without constant supervision. If you can genuinely trust it to work on long-term tasks in the background, the experience becomes like sitting in a cabin by a lake, rather than the bustling chaos of city life. That's Altman's own metaphor, by the way. There's essentially no traditional operating system UI as we know it. No touchscreen to navigate, no keyboard to type on, possibly no buttons at all. Interaction might be purely voice-based or even gesture-based, with the AI doing all the heavy computational lifting. As PC Gamer speculates, you won't need to see it in action, it will just do it. That's a radical departure from how we currently think about using technology. In summary, the design philosophy marries Apple-level simplicity and joy with cutting-edge AI capabilities. Altman put it perfectly when he said they want the device to be so simple and beautiful and playful that users immediately feel it's just tools that empower them. Behind that effortless simplicity, though, is incredibly sophisticated AI running 24/7 to create that seamless experience. What we know from public statements and reports. Let's talk about what's actually been confirmed versus what's speculation. The team has been remarkably secretive. No product name has been released, no official photos have leaked, but we do have several key sources of information. The first official word came in May 2025 through an OpenAI blog post. Sam Altman and Jony Ive announced the IO Products acquisition and hinted at their work together. They talked about building products that inspire, empower, and enable, and Altman praised Ive's design sensibility as extraordinary. However, they deliberately kept product details vague at that point. It was more of an announcement that something big is coming, without revealing what it actually was. The floodgates opened in November 2025 during what's been called the Emerson Collective Demo Day. This was a live-streamed interview with Laurene Powell-Jobs, where Altman and Ive spoke at length about the device, though still somewhat cryptically. The media coverage from that single event dominates everything we know today. The Verge reported they've settled on a design, and the device could arrive in less than 2 years. Axios highlighted key quotes like Altman's hope that people will say, "That's it," when they see it, emphasizing the device would be unveiled within 2 years. Multiple outlets published articles the same day, all based on this interview and related intelligence. From that event and subsequent reporting, we got confirmation on several major points. The prototypes exist and are, in Altman's words, jaw-droppingly good. The design is playful and passed the famous lick test. It's aimed to be pocket-sized and completely screenless. These details appeared across TechCrunch, McRumors, Business Insider, PC Gamer, and other reputable tech publications. Supplier reports added another layer of confirmation. In September 2025, Reuters, citing the information, reported on manufacturing partnerships. OpenAI had signed with Luxshare, an Apple device assembler, to actually build the hardware at scale. They'd also approached Goertek for components like speakers. These reports confirmed the project's massive scale and that OpenAI was serious about mass production, using Apple's proven supply chain. We've also seen consistent specification hints emerge across multiple sources. Reuters noted the device is expected to be aware of context and designed to work closely with ChatGPT's artificial intelligence models. Various publications have called it an AI phone without a screen, a third-core device after phones and computers, or compared it to an iPod-like gadget with cameras and microphones for environmental awareness. None of these descriptions are official marketing materials, but they paint a remarkably consistent picture when you look at them together. The story hasn't changed across dozens of articles and reports. That suggests the information is reliable, even if it's not coming directly from OpenAI's PR department. What we don't have yet are the crucial details that usually define a product launch. There's no official name. We're all just calling it OpenAI's device, or the Altman Ive gadget. There are no leaked product photos or renders. We don't know the price point, though given the manufacturing partnerships and design pedigree, it's likely to be premium priced. We don't know exact technical specifications like battery life, processing power, or connectivity options. The team is clearly keeping those details locked down intentionally. Altman has hinted that seeing the device will be an aha moment, suggesting the reveal is part of the experience. We'll have to wait for a future official unveiling to know exactly what it looks like and all the specifics of how it works. But here's what we can say with confidence. This isn't vaporware. Working prototypes exist. Manufacturing partners are secured. A concrete timeline has been given by the creators themselves, and the vision has been articulated clearly enough that we understand the what and why, even if we're missing some of the how. Let me bring this all together, because there's a lot to unpack here. Sam Altman and Jony Ive are building a new kind of computing device that challenges everything we assume about how we should interact with AI. It's a small, screenless, ambient AI companion designed to feel calm and intuitive rather than demanding and distracting. The device leverages OpenAI's incredibly powerful AI software, think ChatGPT and beyond, combined with Jony Ive's legendary minimalist design philosophy. That combination alone is fascinating, but what makes it potentially revolutionary is the underlying idea. That the best interface for advanced AI might be almost invisible, operating in the background of your life rather than constantly demanding your attention. Development has been remarkably rapid. From initial concept discussions in 2023 to working prototypes in 2025, they've compressed what usually takes 5 to 7 years in hardware development into just 2 to 3 years. The acquisition of I/O products for $6.5 billion wasn't just a strategic move. It was OpenAI bringing Apple's Design A team in-house. The consensus timeline points to a release in approximately 2 years, somewhere around 2027 or possibly late 2026. That might seem far away, but in the context of bringing a completely new hardware category to market, it's actually aggressive. Until that launch happens, many details remain speculation and educated guesses based on public statements. But what Altman and Ive have said publicly paints a clear picture. They want people to respond with, "That's it. It's so simple," when they see the device. They want to create something that embodies both technical sophistication and genuine joy in use. In the coming years, this device could fundamentally reshape how everyday people interact with AI, moving us away from screens and towards more ambient, contextual computing. Whether it succeeds will depend on execution, pricing, and whether consumers are ready to trust an AI assistant to operate largely outside their direct supervision. But if anyone can pull this off, it's the combination of the company that built ChatGPT and the designer who defined modern consumer electronics at Apple. The stage is set, the team is assembled, and the prototypes are working. Now we wait to see if they can deliver on the promise. Based on everything I've researched, from Sam Altman and Jony Ive's public interviews and statements, to OpenAI's official announcements and extensive coverage by outlets like TechCrunch, The Verge, Axios, Reuters, McRumors, and Business Insider. That's where we stand on this mysterious AI device. It's one of the most ambitious hardware projects in tech right now, and I'll definitely be watching closely as more details emerge. What do you think? Would you trust a screenless AI assistant to manage parts of your life? Let me know in the comments below, and if you found this breakdown helpful, hit that subscribe button because we're going to be following this project closely as it develops. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.